Come into tonight's game riding a hot streak, having won their last 6 in a row, and Dodger coach Blake Utley says his guys are hitting their stride at the right time.
Our guys are extremely confident right now. We work all season long talking about building the momentum for the postseason. You know, what you do in May, in June, and even early July really has no bearing on the postseason, and now it's time to carry that momentum.
Catch every pitch of the Dodger playoff opener tonight at 7 p.m. on Sunny 99.7. That's your Alpha Media News and Sports Update for today, July the 19th. From the Jerry Sheeter Newsroom, I'm Rob Jones.
Here's the AM 1400 KVFD Weatherology forecast. An excessive heat warning continues until 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. Lots of sunshine outside this afternoon with a high of 95. South winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies. Tonight, lows level off around 76. A blend of clouds and sun. Tomorrow, chance for scattered storms, 88. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 92.
Blue Ribbon, Pelham Waters, your water pro since 1949.
Do you have questions about your water? What is a whole home filter? Is my softener working or not? Can I get rid of that red stain around the sink? I'm Brian with Blue Ribbon Pelham Waters. We're here to fix problem water. We'll work with you to find the right solution for you. We've been serving the Fort Dodge area since 1949. Let us serve your water treatment needs. Sales, service, rentals. Blue Ribbon Pelham Waters, your complete water store.
When severe weather threatens, keep it here for the Severe Weather Advisor. Brought to you by Creative Signs and Graphics Fort Dodge. For signs, decals, vehicle graphics, magnets, logos, customized documents, and more. If your business needs it, Creative Signs and Graphics can make it. And a stitch above the rest embroidery, Fort Dodge. Step out in style with quality brands, timely turnaround, and professional service. A stitch above the rest. Embroidery professionals worth finding. Remember, when severe weather threatens, stay with your friends on KVFD.
Divine Intervention is online at yourfortdodge.com, on Twitter at JMike1400.
That's right. This is AM 1400, KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. I'm Michael Divine. I like to call myself the Doctor of Truth. Well, because it's the truth. With me now, Dr. Lee Heeb. She's back with us after I took a lot of time off. Dr. Lee Heeb is a libertarian and an orthopedic surgeon. Otherwise, she's an actual physician, not a sociologist or some fake doctor like that. Anyway, Lee, how have you been?
Well, I'm good. I think the world has gone crazy since we've been gone, though.
Well, it has. It's always really been crazy, but it seems to me that the country is definitely breaking up. I don't mean just left and right. I mean the progressive Democrats or leftist Democrats, as I prefer to call them more accurately. The leftist Democrats have no time for the old establishment Democrats, and they're either going to form another party or they're not going to vote for the Democratic Party. The Democrats are talking like, yeah, we're going to sweep Trump out of office just like that in 2020. He's so uncouth. He's so unpopular. Everybody hates him. So we'll just sweep into power. I don't think so. I think something else is going on. What do you think?
Well, I have to say, and I heard Stuart Rhodes, the head of Oath Keepers, say this a while ago, that he said at that time we were in a cold civil war, and we've been in it for a couple of years. And it's been fought mostly on ideology at this point. But I got to tell you, what's been going on the last few weeks says to me that we're in the warm phase of the civil war, and I'm wondering when we're going to start seeing shooting. But let me explain that. I want to say first something about partisanship, because I don't think this isn't going to break along lines of Republican Democrat per se. This is about people that believe in America and what it stands for, in representative form of government, and versus the people that want to bring us down. And there's a consortium of people that want to do that.
Yes.
I was a Republican for 30 years. And let me just make this point. I left the Republican Party when I recognized, I was a Republican because I thought they stood for what I believed in, which was, small government, individual liberty, personal responsibility, and all the things that go along with that, lesser taxes, blah, 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 personal ownership, firearms, everything. Okay? But I found out over my lifetime that they might have talked about that, but every day I turned around, even the most conservative quote among them, like Grassley and King, every day voted away my liberty. And I kept saying, why are they doing that? And finally I recognized, that it was because they they might actually somewhere in their deep heart believe in those things, but they more believe in power and money.
Yes.
And so they sold the GOP sold out to big moneyed interests, whether it was ethanol, oil, banking, pharmaceuticals, you name it, they sold out. But now, and I think some Republicans, I think a bunch of Republicans at my level, the little people, I think we figured that out. And many of us have moved to the Libertarian Party or to be independents or something. Now, when you come to the Democrats, and I'm speaking to Democrats, I mean, I have a friend, my office manager's a Democrat, and I can't really even talk about this very much because it's become so polarized. But really, I think the little people Democrats, like I was a little people Republican, need to look at who has taken over their party.
Oh, absolutely.
And their party has changed dramatically. And it started in World War II with the Communist Party being told by Stalin to join the Democrats because FDR was fighting with them. And then now we've got multiple consortiums of people that want to take down America from the Muslims. I mean, look at Ilhan Omar. If you think that she's not there with an agenda,
oh yeah,
she's there with an agenda. And you've got the Chinese who would love to see us knocked off our pedestal so they could jump up on it. And then you've got the global bankers. There's a bunch of people, but they're all using the Democrat Party right now to wage war on America. And I think that's where it becomes a little partisan. They didn't come into the Republican Party to do it. However, they did just something like I've always said, Justin Amash was a mole. So I think what's happening now is this isn't all happening by happenstance right now. What have we got going on? We had caravans being funded by the UN, by George Soros, by Beto's campaign. I mean, come on. We had funding for people being used as mass border crashers to take down our sovereignty. We've got vote fraud that we know was going on electronically last election, and now we're just finding out that Google actually may have swayed the last election by 10 million votes for Hillary, in favor of Hillary, even though they want to tell us it was the other way around. And Google now is in bed with the Chinese. Google has decided that they're going to sell their AI technology and work with the Chinese on AI technology, but not our military.
Google is going to sell their soul to China. Google is going to sell. Google's going to sell out everything they say they hold dear for the Chinese market. That's exactly what they're going to do.
And I wouldn't say they're going to. I think they have.
Yeah,
and that's what Thiel. God love Thiel the other day standing up and saying, "Hey, I think that Google should be investigated for treason. Thank you for not mincing words here."
No,
they have sold our security to the Chinese. And there's so many more like this. But here we have the border crashing, and it's a nightmare. We have propaganda like I've never heard from the media that's totally false, like what they're talking about these centers, these detention centers on the border as concentration camps, when everybody who actually goes down there and actually observes them, and the Border Patrol themselves in front of Congress can tell you that's not what it is, that they have very nice facilities, they're just overrun. And then the last one is, we got this area, look at Area 51. What's that really all about? You really think 1.5 million people spontaneously just signed up to crash a military area? No, it's another stressor to the system. I'd be very surprised if Antifa and who knows, ISIS, who knows, isn't going to participate in that if it actually happens. And then you've got people pulling down the national flag at the Aurora, Colorado Ice Center and putting up the Mexican flag, hanging the American flag upside down, the police flag upside down. They're now coming out and showing their true colors. No more lip service to the military or to the police. They hate the police, and they've just said that. So, I think this is about to, and actually, Stuart Rhodes again, he thought maybe this thing in Portland was going to trigger a shooting war.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Radical, crazy people have taken over a major American city. Why?
Yeah, I know.
I don't know why the feds are not getting involved in this. Why hasn't Trump taken some action?
That's the issue. What are we going to do? And I got to say, I know, so what's the good side in all this? I think the one good thing that's happened since you and I talked is the Jeffrey Epstein thing. and if one of the subplots here is the deep state. And I remember when Trump got elected, I thought, why is he talking about sex trafficking when we're financially bankrupt, we got the border? Why is he talking about sex trafficking? Well, because he understood, and I think he's right, that this whole thing is a deep state funder and controller. And, Jeffrey Epstein, now it's coming out that Mueller may have been the FBI. When Jeffrey Epstein, and it's in Roger Stone's book, which I'm reading, Jeffrey Epstein 4 years ago whenever he got arrested, maybe it's a little more than 4 years ago now, he got off with a slap on the wrist. He informed them he was an FBI informant. They said, you can't do anything to him. You're all serious because he's working for the FBI. Well, who was he working for? Turns out it looks like it was Mueller. And that Mueller was maybe paying him for entrapping senior politicians, senior Hollywood, the big players in America on tape with underage children and then controlling them. Just like J. Edgar Hoover did. Only J. Edgar Hoover he just had files. He didn't have electronic surveillance techniques. So that might help a lot, but Trump's got to get moving on some things.
Trump does have to get moving on some things. And
I think he's got to secure the border. My ex-husband was a Marine colonel, and I texted him about all this. He's back on the border. And I said, what do you think is going on in Area 51? And are we going to end up shooting people over this? He said, I think they can handle this just because it's rugged, sparse terrain, and there's a military way of dealing with that without shooting anybody. He doesn't think we're going to need to shoot anybody. But at the border, if you're going to deploy the military or the reserves, be prepared, because those guys are not taught to use restraint when they're being attacked. They're taught to use overwhelming force, and it may come to that. You're going to have to decide what we want to do, but I think it's time to secure the border, because we can't absorb 150,000 people every week coming across or whatever it is. It's gotten really bad.
Oh, no, we can't. That's the whole point of it. Our system can't absorb this many people. We can't do it. And the Democrats have been sitting back for months criticizing Trump and lambasting Trump for his cruelty, all the while refusing to send any money down there to make the decision to make the situation any better. Their hypocrisy is staggering. And their cruelty, as a matter of fact, is staggering. What did they expect to happen? What did the Democratic Party, what does anyone in the Democratic Party expect to happen? I've asked some of my Democratic friends, and I'll tell you what they say. Just let them into the country. Give them driver's licenses, on and on and on. They just want to take the jobs that Americans won't do, which is flat out insulting. That is a grotesque, twisted argument, and I hear it all the time.
But even if that's true, that's not our problem. No. That's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is they steal your vote. Mm-hmm. And that suddenly, just like Ilhan Omar is I agree 100% with Trump. She is the perfect example of our problem. We let her into the country because she married her brother, and so she got in under a lie. Okay? But then she got on welfare when she got here, and then she just pleaded guilty to tax fraud. So this is not somebody that's really contributed a lot to America. But suddenly, in spite of all that, she's in our United States Congress, and she's telling us to take down the wall. And she's telling us how to run she's coming from a failed, tyrannical state, a warlord state, and she wants to tell us how to run this place. No, she wants Sharia law. So we're going to have to decide here, if you let all these people vote, if you let the people that are in here voting, you let illegals vote, you no longer have a country. That's what it is. What it means to be a country is a representative type of country, a republic like we have, is that we vote for our leaders. If you let the whole world vote for our leaders, we no longer have a country. And that's the biggest problem with that's what they're using them for. That's what all this is about. It's going to take jobs and it's going to maybe crash our economy, but it's going to take our ability to ever vote this back. We'll never take it back by a vote. And we're down to that in the next 2 years.
So what do we? So should Trump? I always thought that Trump had something up his sleeve when he had Jim Mattis in his administration and all those military guys. I used to scare my liberal friends by saying, "Look at all these military guys in Trump's administration. Trump gives the word, and the army will be in the street, and you guys will all get rounded up and thrown in a football stadium somewhere because the jails can't hold all of you. They'd freak." They would freak out.
It may come to that, and I think the Army would do that. I think, but the issue is too. I think to not keep spiraling down, we have to decide what we're going to do with rogue states. So we got the state of Washington and Tacoma the other day. Okay, the guy shoots up, this guy with a manifesto shoots up the ICE thing, and the police or the guards shot it. Okay, his manifesto is clearly, he says, I am Antifa. I mean, he is not a Trump supporter, but what does the governor say? The governor comes out and says, this guy attacked the thing to kill innocent people at Trump's behest. You cannot, so we're going to have to decide, and when this comes to shooting, we're going to have to decide, we're going to protect the border. Yes, I hope we do that. And the second thing is, we've got to stop, censoring free speech, because you can't just have all these Facebook and Google people take out all the conservative voices like they're doing. That can't work. Google has admitted that they've skewed the algorithm like they did for last election, and they're going to do it worse for the next. So you can't have that, or you're never going to win anything. You're never going to have a fair playing field. And the third thing is, you got to decide what you're going to do with rogue states. What does it mean when and she's not going to do this, I'm sure, but if our governor decided to make the proclamation that she's in league with Mexico and she's opening up our borders, and she doesn't support the federal government, what do we do? I think those are the questions we're going to have to answer within a year.
Really? Yeah.
I've heard some people say we're going to have to quarantine blue cities. If they're going to be sanctuary cities to illegals, we're going to have to quarantine them.
Well, they have a
may come to that.
They have a tremendous problem in San Francisco with human feces in the street. You know that, don't you?
Oh yeah,
it's terrible.
They vote for the same principles. What don't they get?
Yeah. Here,